Hi, I'm Amanda and I run the Mums, Bums and Tums Podcast, which is a podcast about mum, life and everything else in between. And today we've got with us Sarah, so if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Sarah. I am a teacher of over 10 years. I've got
Amazing.
2 children. My oldest is 10, my youngest is 6, or just turned 6, who's a little whirlwind. And I have earlier this year taken like a bit of a leap of faith, so I'm leaving my teaching career.
Wow.
And I have established my own business called Bambini Me, which is baby sensory play.
Amazing.
Which I've wanted to do for years and years and years, but just needed a catalyst or something to push me to do it.
Yeah, you need that little push to do it, I think, yeah.
So that's me. So I'm 42.
Looking fantastic.
Oh, it's the ponytail, I swear. It takes 5 years off you.
It's a facelift, yeah.
It is.
If you do it tight enough.
Yeah, with my hair down, I'm 42, but then maybe I can push for 36. With a ponytail.
That's the trick then. That's not Botox.
No,
a pony.
ponytail. But also I realised I've got a scrunchie in. I don't know if you can pull that off at 42.
Yeah, you can.
Is there a cut-off for a scrunchie?
No, definitely not. So where is business based?
So I go to 3 different venues. One's in Thornton Hough, one's in Burton and Hooton, which is near where I live. So I'm like Hooton, Williston way. But I basically, when my 2 were little, I really wanted a baby class that was calming and nurturing. And this is not to throw any shade on any of the existing ones, because there's so many amazing baby sensory classes and toddler sensory classes and things like that. But I just didn't want to, with my babies, go to a class where it was like booming music.
It's overstimulating sometimes for you as well as baby, isn't it?
Sometimes it's like lights and strobe lights, and I felt like I was in a disco with my baby. I didn't want to listen to Venga Boys when my baby was 6 months old. I just wanted to
I'm having a breakdown in the morning listening to Venga Boys in the afternoon.
Acting like it's all fine, I've got this together, and then it's like the Venga bus, and I was just like, no, I just don't. There was just nothing out there at the time. So I've always had like this little niggling feeling that I wanted to do something that was like a little bit more chill, basically.
But not like a yoga?
Yeah, not yoga.
Like in between?
Something where I can use like my previous skills in like child development and, teaching, the skills that I've acquired doing my teaching, to put it into something that's going to benefit the baby's development. But also the reason why I found you is because you're all about making sure mums have got time for themselves and prioritising themselves as well.
That's what we're all about.
So my class is very much like, I want the mums to come and have a space where it's like relaxed, where they can chat to other parents, because that's so important, isn't it?
You don't realise?
No, it's so isolating, especially those new mum months where you're just on your own. Sometimes you don't see your partner. Sometimes people aren't with the partner anymore.
It's hard.
And you just feel like you need to speak to another human being.
You need to know someone's going through what you're going through, and 100%. It's normal.
So I basically have like a little break halfway through the class where we have tea, coffee, always biscuits.
I like that.
Always biscuits, which probably doesn't sit well with you as a PT.
No, I bring cake to class, so don't worry about me.
But I do it in the middle so that mums don't have to feel like they need to rush off, so they get to chat to people. So the feedback on that has been so lovely, because
that's the first time I've heard of that as well.
Yeah, it's just nice, so they can have a little chat, parent chat, talk about how the morning's been, or maybe the baby's going through sleep regression or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I just set up for the second section, which is more calming, and the lights go down, and we have lots of like glowing little sensory objects and things, and chilled music and parachutes and all that.
So, what's the age range then that you do?
So it's from newborn, so it's suitable from newborn. And a lot of people think, they can't take much in when they're a few weeks old.
No,
but they do.
do.
They can take in all the surroundings. It's like a bonding moment for the mums and the babies, and they listen to the music. So
love it.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. What age do you do up to then, usually?
Up to walking, I've said, just because I
It's a bit carnage then.
Yeah, because you know what it's like, having toddlers, they just start charging around, they're into everything. So to try and keep it chilled and calm, I thought if it's up to pre-walking, it's the best of both worlds.
So when I get pregnant next, I'll be coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she's too old now.
Yeah, friends and family.
No, I love that.
So how old is your little girl?
She's 3.
3, okay.
Yeah, and she's wild.
Yeah. I was going to say second child is normally the wild one.
No, but she is basically I feel like she is my second child, because she's a whirlwind. But she's me. She's a mini me.
So you created a monster.
Yeah, I brought her to the gym from 8 months old. I can't really blame anyone but myself. I? Me and my partner are both very active as well, and we don't really sit still much. When we do, we're like zonked out.
Yeah, that's so good though, because you lead by example, don't you?
Yeah.
If you want your kids to be active.
100%.
I go stir crazy at the weekends if my kids have been like on screens for too long and things like that. So we do like park run on a Sunday and just get
I love that.
I'm rubbish.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so slow, but
it's the taking part.
It's the taking part. And I say to my kids when they're like, Mummy, you're so slow. I'm like, but all the other mummies are waiting at the finish line. At least I'm doing it.
Well, it's
not all of them.
Setting an example is really good.
Yeah.
Someone did mention to me about starting the park run, but I hate running.
Yeah. Well, this is just the junior one. I can't even claim it's like the 5K. It's 2K. And
it's 2K more than I'm doing. So...
but I used to be really active, and then obviously like kids come along and I've taken a back seat with it all. But yeah, we go out on loads of like bike rides as a family and stuff like that. But I do need to get back into it.
It's weather dependent though, stuff like that as well, isn't it? It's really hard. It is.
But I have decided like 2025 is going to be a year where I try and, especially with the launch of the business, like prioritise my life and myself. And not in a selfish way, because I know it's a bit of a buzzword.
You've got to fill your cup to fill others.
So that's what it's all about. And then, do you listen to Fern Cotton's? Like,
no.
So I was listening to her podcast and she was talking about how sometimes people are like scared to take the leap of faith, and that people find it cringy when you talk about prioritising yourself.
Yeah.
But actually, it's just because they also want to do it. I thought, I'm not going to care about what people think. When I told people I was leaving my teaching career, they were like, oh, okay, that's brave. And everyone kept saying it was brave. I don't know why.
People like to be safe.
Yeah. And it didn't annoy me because I understand where people are coming from, but it's like you get your sick pay and you get your holidays, but actually teachers never take a day off sick anyway. The holidays, you end up working a lot of the time. I was going to
say, you work more as a teacher. I have friends who are teachers and it's a lot.
I was so naive to it though. My closest friend has done it since forever. And I used to think, they finish at 3:30, they get all the holidays. I was so naive to the world of teaching until I actually did it, and it was humbling. The experience was humbling.
That's why I think people think it's an easy job because they're not in it. Because my mum was a teaching assistant, and even that was a lot. Like, she'd do so many hours.
Yeah.
Luckily, she could switch off when she came home because she was an assistant rather than a teacher, but you're
still pulled in so many directions. You've got to cover classes. You've got to do those intervention groups. So she must have been demented.
Yeah. And I know I've got like family and friends who are teachers, and they bring so much work home, and then they have to wait for the kids to go to bed to do the work. So then you're missing out on time with your husband or your partner or 100%. Whoever. And it's just like, it's a lot, and you're expected a lot. And yet you get all these 6 weeks holidays and stuff, but you deserve it because you work double the amount.
You kind of work the time in advance. That's what I always think.
Tell me about it.
But you get a lot of eye rolls when you say that. Yeah, of course you do. 14 weeks holiday a year. Yeah, you work it all in advance. But it's hard. And then the catalyst for me leaving was when, get the violins out now, because my little boy, my husband he's amazing. He's so supportive. And he was taking the kids out on a bike ride. And my youngest, who's 6, as I said, he was like, Mummy, don't you like coming for bike rides with us? I was like, yeah, of course I do. I love it. Why? He's like, but you always work when we go out, when Daddy takes us out. And honestly, it killed me. I thought,
that's enough of a realisation.
Yeah,
isn't
it really was. So I just thought, this is all wrong. I went into teaching to do something that was more wholesome and meaningful, because I was a jewellery buyer before that for years.
Oh, amazing.
Which was great, but it was very like bitchy and very cutthroat and just my heart wasn't in it. I thought this will work around my family as well. And then, so when he said that, I just thought, oh my God, like, why am I killing myself? And I'm helping all these other children, but I'm putting my children to one side, and that time goes so fast.
Yeah, you don't get it back.
No, you don't. And my daughter's literally next year, she's going to grammar school. And I don't feel like I've like missed out, because obviously I've had all the holidays and I'm really grateful for that. But I just think there could be a different way to live. So trying to work for myself and work my life and my children's lives around work instead of it being the other way around.
Yeah, you don't realise. I think
what you kind of did,
well, I worked in gyms. I always worked in gyms, and then when I had her, they just like weren't flexible with hours, and they couldn't give me set times. And I thought, well, it doesn't work for us. So my partner was like, he said, just don't go back to work. And I was like, okay, this is great. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mum.
Well, how good is that though, to have a partner?
I'm really grateful to have him, because not many people would be able to do that.
Yeah.
But then we quickly realised it just wasn't for us. Like, I didn't like asking for money all the time. I like being independent. I've been brought up by an independent woman. Yeah. Like, my mum brought us 3 up on her own. So it's like...
amazing. Yeah.
I needed my independence. And then I thought, you know what, there's no way, I couldn't go to the gym. I thought, there's no way to do it. So made it. And then I used to bring her with me, could fit it round. It was great.
Yeah, and they say necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it? So you need to make it work, so you've built this.
Yeah, 100%. And then you don't realise how much people want it. I thought it's not going to take off. People won't want to work out. They won't want to bring the kids. And it's mad how many people say it's like such a big thing now for them to come to and have that time for them, because you don't realise. And it's great that you get to, if you want to go to the gym on your own. Like, I love going to the gym in the morning on my own, but some people don't have that option. I didn't have that option until she was 2, because she was a bad sleeper. Right. So now she's a good sleeper. I am taking it.
My little boy still comes in our bed halfway through the night sometimes.
Same.
And my husband's like, we've got to stop this. But I don't notice half the time, because when you're shattered as a mom, you're juggling so many things. So I don't even notice until I'm getting booted out the bed. And the amount of times I clear off to the spare room, it's ridiculous.
It's funny, isn't it?
I'm not even in my own bed most nights.
I know, we pay for this lovely big bed and we're never in it. I know, but I just remember when we were young, when she was younger and I breastfed, and I'd always have to be the one getting up, it'd never be him. So I'd always bring her in the bed, and he was like, oh, you can't keep doing this. And I was like, but if she's in bed with us, at least she's going back to sleep. I'm sleeping, and you're sleeping. It might not be as good, but if I'm in her room trying to get her to sleep over a cot, I'm not sleeping. No,
it's better
and
than
then
nothing.
I'm really moody. And nobody wants that. so it's funny. Really hard, but he's just kind of, I think you have all these expectations before you have them.
Yeah.
And then you quickly realise that actually that's not how it works.
No, it brings you right back down to earth.
Oh, it's so humbling, isn't it?
I saw this meme that was going around with this dad that was like, oh, me and my wife didn't want time to ourselves anymore, or holidays, and we didn't want a tidy house, so we thought we'd have kids. Like, that is so true. Yeah, if you want to maintain a tidy house and have time to yourself, then don't have children. But obviously the rewards outweigh the downside. But it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the juggle, but it is real.
I don't think I've had a tidy house since the day she was coming, the day I knew she was coming.
And either we look good because we've had time to shower and put deodorant on and brush our teeth, or the house. You can't have both. It's one or the other.
It's usually neither for me.
Oh, you look amazing.
No,
you look so
I've actually had no chance to wash my hair. Now she's like old enough to entertain herself, and she will like just sit and read in her room and stuff. So I'm like, oh, mummy's just going to go have a quick shower. And she's like, okay, whatever, I'm not asked.
That's so good.
I know, thank God.
I heard you saying on one of your previous podcasts that you'd have more though. So
we'd love another one.
Got like a gap in mind, or?
We always said 3 years, but when she got to 2, and we would have obviously had to start trying, I was like, terrible 2s kicked in very early.
How do people do it with like 2 under 2?
They are
mental,
incredible people.
Yeah, hats off.
I think sometimes, like, I see it both ways. It's better to just get it done. But mentally, I don't think I'd have coped. My partner works away a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I still don't think we're ready, but I don't think we're ever going to be ready. So I don't know.
It never feels like the right time.
But I don't want to put... No, it doesn't.
But financially as well, don't you think?
Well, I said that about the first, and someone said, you will never be financially ready for kids. Like, you'll always spend... So we're just going to... I don't like to put too much stress on it, because I did when we were trying for her, and we took us over a year. So I just think it'll happen.
When the time's right.
Yeah, and obviously need to get things set up with business-wise so that can still run.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot more stress this time, because I got maternity pay last time, didn't need to worry.
Yeah. So also there's no rush. Like,
no.
There's 4 years between mine, and it was actually perfect because my daughter was starting F2.
Well, that's the thing, she starts school September.
I was like doing the school run and still in this like newborn days of like being on autopilot, where I'd get home and I didn't even remember doing like the school run walk. It's so weird. But now I'm like so thankful because I had that time to sort of process and be with my little boy at home whilst she was in school. And that's why I just thought, how do people actually do it and function as a human being with more than 2? One of my good friends has got 4 under 10. And I always say to her, you are superwoman.
It's madness. Like, people are amazing for it. Some people just absolutely thrive off that though, whereas the chaos can send me a mental breakdown every week. So it's like a fine line, isn't there?
There is definitely a fine line.
Yeah, it's really tough. And it is also as well, like, I think I was really lucky as well and had a really good pregnancy and birth. And like, when she was little, I was really, really lucky. And another thing that worries me is that the next one is probably not going to be that good.
Did you have like a home birth, or were you in hospital?
No, we were in hospital, but everything just like went to plan. Yeah, I don't know if it was just we were really relaxed. Like, I kind of went in, I read a really good book. I'd highly recommend the Positive Birth book. Obviously, I don't know if you want any more.
Definitely not. I am done.
But if anyone's, it's a really good book, and it just put me in a really good frame of mind to be like, she's got to come out. As long as she comes out in a safe and, she's healthy.
Yeah, 100%.
It's got to happen. So, like, I always went in with, like, I don't want to have a C-section. I don't want an epidural. And my partner was like, well, if you need one, you need one.
Yeah, see what happens.
You can't stop that, can you? So I was like, well, I said to him, because we obviously make a birth plan, and I said, it's a hard no for an epidural. And then as I got closer to me having it, I was like, by the way, if I want an epidural, I want an epidural. And he went, but you told me that you don't want one. I said, yeah, I don't want one, but if I want one, I want one. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, you'll get it on the day, I think.
Yeah, that's so funny. Well, I had all these like visions of having a water birth. I thought I was going to be this like mermaid in the water. It's going to be so like chilled. And then I did get in the water, but then nothing was happening. So I wasn't.
Was it at home?
No, it was in the hospital at Arrow Park. And I was really happy, like living my best life, thinking it was all going smoothly. And then they were like, nothing's happening, you're not dilating. No. So I got induced, and I actually looked this up recently because the amount of people that I hear that got induced and then have an emergency section is 23% or 22%.
Really?
That's massive. Yeah. It's like 2%. That's like 1 in 5 women who get induced are likely to have an emergency section, because it's basically speeding up the whole process.
It's not natural, is it?
Yeah, which is what happened to me. And then you're having all of this, and then the baby's heart rate, my daughter's heart rate was dropping. So then we go into like full on panic mode. So I was out of that water, having all the drugs going.
And the baby feels what you're feeling. Yeah. You're stressed, she's going to be stressed.
It was really traumatic.
I can imagine.
They did the epidural, and you have to like sign your life away. So you basically have to accept the risk of your death or the baby's death.
Oh my God.
And then you have to sit really still for the epidural. Now, tell me a woman who's in full-on labour with contractions through the roof.
Been told she needs to sign her life away.
Absolutely still while they get this in the exact right place. I mean, so I was calm. I was still. I think I was gripping my husband's arm really tight, and they did it, and it works. You hear all these horror stories.
Yeah.
So then, after that, and I couldn't feel anything, I just was smiling. My husband was saying to me, he was freaking out because he did not know what was going to happen. And then I was just like, oh, this is amazing. They're going to get her out now. And they had that like Lion King moment where they lift the baby up, and she's like, and it's all relief. And then when I had my second, I was like, I'm not going through that again. So when I was pregnant with my little boy, I had to go for like 3 appointments because they try and like, I don't know why they try and talk you out of it. I don't know whether it's
out of a C-section.
Yeah, I said I want an elective C-section.
Really?
Yeah, so I had to have an appointment with a lady who was a bit of a gatekeeper, I think, that was like, there's no reason why you can't have a natural birth after an emergency section. But I'd made up my mind. I was like, no, my body, my choice.
Exactly.
And it was so traumatic afterwards that I just thought, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to put the baby through that. And I just thought, I don't know what the reason was why I didn't dilate. I don't know. What if it happens again? And I just freaked out. So I was determined to just have an elective, which I did. And that all went smoothly.
Thankfully.
And what a different experience, because I didn't have all the exhaustion from the labour before.
Yeah.
I was like, had my magazines, just chill.
And that's the atmosphere that you and baby both and partner all need, because if you're not chilled, it's a bad start from the off.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I will say is it's not an easy option. So many people go, oh, they came out the sunroof. It was, too posh to push, like all that stuff with Victoria Beckham years ago. It's so hard afterwards because, like you, I breastfed, but even putting the baby in that position, it's so painful. You can't reach to the side to twist for anything because you feel like your stitches are all going to pop open.
Oh, that makes sense.
I remember being in hospital actually, and my little, the little wheelie trolley next to the bed. It was slightly out of reach with the water on, and I couldn't quite reach it. And I remember just crying. I just sat there crying in my bed. I can't quite reach it, and I can't twist because I feel like everything's going to go ping, 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 and pop. And then you have to wear the compression socks, which in July, when you've got a July like born daughter like me.
Yeah.
It was roasting hot summer, had these like sexy like compression socks on.
All the way up to your knee.
Up to my knee, that was so itchy. They give you one pair. So even my dog, I had a dog at the time, he's like, be sniffing around. I'd be like, I know, bud, this stinks.
I know, you don't need to tell me.
So it's not like glamorous. It's not the easy option. And then because I was classed as high risk because, heaven forbid, I was 36 when I was second. Classed as old, really old.
Yeah, that's because they call it geriatric now.
Yeah. And I think call it geriatric?
So my sister was 33 when she had her little girl. What's she say?
And
they call it geriatric. And I was like, I'd smack someone if they call me that. I'm 40 weeks pregnant and you call me a geriatric.
A geriatric. I didn't know that. It's probably a good job.
Yeah.
So then you have to have all those injections, the blood thinning injections afterwards. So you've got to stab yourself in the stomach, which I think my husband...
You had to do it yourself?
He was doing it, but I think he took too much pleasure in doing that. I was black and blue all in my thighs, and then in the end I said, I'll just do it myself. So I'd just do it myself for 10 days. But I was terrible with the socks.
It's the recovery is what petrifies me of a C-section, because
it's hard. It's
6
tough.
weeks of not driving, and that is once your partner goes back to work, that's 4 weeks of a long, lonely time to not be able to have a bit of freedom.
And not being able to
can't go to a baby class unless it's close.
No.
Can't pick your baby up say if you have a heavy baby.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is. And then they put all this emphasis on you need to have a first wee after you've had your section because you've had like a catheter. Is that the right word?
Catheter, yeah.
And then they say
you've got past so much, haven't you? Or something.
So I was like freaking out the first time. I was like, what if I can't go for a wee? Because it's such a weird sensation.
Is it?
Sorry if this is like too much information.
Never.
But they were like, within the half an hour, try and have a wee within half an hour. So I was like, right, I've got to do it. So I'd psyched myself up, like rolled onto my side like a whale because I was so sore. And then like slipped off the bed, went to the toilet. Unfortunately, my husband was still there. I think he was holding the baby at the time. But I was like, nothing's happening. And I went really lightheaded and just the colour drained out of me and I fainted on the toilet.
Oh my God.
So I don't know whether I pull the cord or he called someone, but then I was like woken up by people slapping me around the face, go, Sarah. And I was like, but did I wee?
But how big was it? Can I have it out? Can I go home? So what was that from?
That was, I don't know. I think it was just panic.
Just a lot. Panic. Everything.
That everything was sore. I knew I had to go for this like important wee. So weird.
It's like the pressure of everything, isn't it?
But I got myself in such a tailspin about it. And now I think with the second, it was all fine because I knew what to expect.
It's different. But, it's all brand new with the first, isn't it? How did you find the recovery then for both of them?
With my first, it was really, I'd say it was more difficult because I was exhausted beforehand from the labour.
Yeah.
Whereas with my second, I was kind of chilled. I didn't have that sleepless, like stressful period before. So I was mentally better equipped to cope with the recovery. Whereas I think I was still like traumatised by what happened in the emergency one.
Yeah.
But yeah, weeks after, it's difficult. And then trying to get back into exercise. I did go through a period where I hired like a personal trainer who, have you heard of Jamie Ford? She's in Australia.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So she did it, and it was all like online stuff where you have to take your photographs and you look for your photographs and think, oh my God, like the state. But you saw progress, and I really got into it. But then, obviously, like a few years later, it all slipped again because I got pregnant.
It's hard, isn't it? I
haven't really got back into it, and I really need
to. It's really difficult. But now that you're starting your own business, hopefully you will start to use that time to prioritise yourself.
Fingers crossed.
Come to class anytime.
I know. Yeah.
Without the kids.
I know. There'll be
still a mum.
Full-time school, but yeah.
But even like school holidays, it's wild, but we love it because we have all the kids.
All the kids, all the parties, all the play days. If I have to go to one more park in the school holidays, though, do you like going to the park?
No. Depends. If nobody else is there, I like it. If there's loads of other kids there and parents that I've got to mingle with, I hate it.
I always feel really guilty because if sometimes my mum will come with me, she lives away from me, but when she's with me, we go together. And I always say to Mum, I hate the park. It's just so boring.
I hate soft play.
Yeah, I don't mind that as much.
I hate soft play, so I'll always try and go with someone else and be like, right, you can take an hour time out.
Do you get anxiety though when you can't see her? Like,
so I have to go in with her.
Yeah.
So we did go to, me and Josh took her to the one in Bidston. Have you been to Bidston Tennis Centre? They've got a new,
no, I haven't
by
been
the big
there.
Tesco, they've got a new, I'll say it's new, it's probably not that new now, soft play there, but it's like small enough that you can kind of see her most of the time.
Yeah,
but she knows her way around. She's like, Mum, don't come with me. But if there's not other kids in there, I'm fine with it. But last time we went, there was like quite a lot of boisterous boys and she can be a bit like, she'll just let people push her and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's when I feel like I need to be in there with her. But I just send Josh because he's a big kid, so they have a ball together. And I just sit there with my cup of hot chocolate and just chill.
Yeah. So, and you're going to come out there with like norovirus and all the sick bugs, all literally. The germs.
It's just like a constant cycle of life now. They're in school.
I know. It's crazy. Like I did a poster thing where I said my decorations for the autumn, and it was like all the cow pollen and Nurofen, because you just know that season comes and it's just game over. And I hear them cough at night, and even though they're asleep, I can't sleep because I'm thinking, I need to get up, and I kept thinking, I need to get up and go and check on them. You just don't sleep, it never ends.
No, as soon as you find out you're pregnant, that's it. Your sleep's gone for like 18 years.
Yeah.
So it is fun though, honest. I do love it.
We love it. We wouldn't change it for the world. No. But it's hard. It's not easy, is it?
No. So how did you find going back to teaching when you'd had them?
So after my little boy, I went back part-time, which was nice. It was 3 days. It was a good balance.
Yeah.
But then you kind of do full-time in 3 days. Yeah. So you squeeze it all in. But then financially we wanted to move house, and we needed the money basically. So I went back full-time, and that was a bit of a shock to the system because there's just no let up. There's no break, is there?
No.
So yeah, it was tough. And then obviously I always try and explain it to other people, but you get asked so many questions all day as a teacher, like, where do I put this? Can I get an article? Should I turn the page? And it's like,
they can't do anything. Yeah.
They just ask so many questions, which is fine. But then I felt like I was being really snappy with my own children, because I'd get home and it'd be like, Mummy, can I do this? Or they'd start squabbling. Be like, I've had this all day.
Yeah. And it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
They're just getting, unfortunately, getting the end.
I also have a really bad toxic trait that is I'm late and I try and fit in too much. Are you the same?
I'm late 24/7.
My husband says if you're on time, that's late.
Yeah.
Because he's very punctual.
No, see, my partner's worse than me.
I'm trying to learn from him and be more him. But
it's really hard. Even when I think I'm early, I'm like, oh, it's all right, I'm early. Yes. So then I'll do something else, and then I'm like, now I'm one later than I would have been if I'd left.
But that's us mums trying to squeeze in like as much as we can to maximise the time.
Putting a wash on before you go.
And then it's all right for somebody else to say, oh, but just leave it can wait. But we're trying to constantly do that mum juggle of, but is the uniform ready for tomorrow? Or it's PE day? Or they need to pack lunch, and always constantly thinking. So I definitely squeeze in too much. And then because I'm late, I'm then really ratty with everyone else. Mummy's late, get in the car. When actually I'm the grown up. I need to get a grip and just be
really
on time.
Hard though.
Yeah,
it is really hard. And your brain's, like my brain is a forever cycle of thinking of everything ahead of time that needs to be done, that I haven't done, that I've missed, as you say, with like the uniforms and all that. Like, it's just manic.
Yeah.
Everything's manic. And I don't think I'll ever be on time.
As well, like, who's getting the kids, or is there an after school club, or, it's arranging all those things, which I think us naturally as mums, we tend to take that role on of, oh, so-and-so's got a play date, or so-and-so's picking them up, and then they've got a club afterwards. And it's the mental load, isn't it? Which I know people talk about a lot, but so-and-so's got a party at the weekend, have we got a present, have we got the card? And it's all that stuff that's constant, like a hamster wheel, isn't it, of life?
Absolutely.
But I just think there'll be a point where it'll chill out a little bit and calm down. But then my mum always says, but then the problems
they just change.
They just change.
It's like when they're a baby and like they can't move and you think it's great, and then they start to move and you think, oh, it's the worst thing ever, and then they start to walk and then they start to talk, and then it's a different battle, just changes. I do think it gets easier in a way, because like as they start to move, they get a bit more independent.
Yeah, and they start understanding more. So it's frustrating when they're babies sometimes, and you just think, I just want to tell you it's all okay, or tell me what's wrong. Whereas actually once they start talking and you can communicate a bit more, or if they hurt themselves, you can explain it a bit better. Yeah,
exactly. And like, so like when they're a baby and they're teething, it literally could be a multitude of problems, and you have to try and get to the bottom of it. For someone who can't tell you anything.
Yeah, it's like multiple choice, isn't it? Is it that?
Yeah. Who wants to be a millionaire? Wrong, you're out.
Process of elimination.
You're not sleeping tonight. It is.
Is your daughter in preschool then?
Yeah, so she splits her time with preschool and nursery. So she does like 3 mornings and a full day at preschool, and then 2 afternoons at nursery. Right. She absolutely loves it.
That's the best.
She thrives.
They love it.
Yeah, she's. When we went to see the nursery, she didn't want to leave. They had to give her a toy.
Oh, that's so
to
good.
make her leave
That's
it,
the best.
to come back. And I said, I bet you've never had a kid that didn't want to leave. And you were like, no, it's usually the other way around. And I was like, it's not. But then she did go through a phase of not wanting to go for like a couple of weeks. Yeah. But she's got like a little best friend in nursery now. And if she doesn't want to go, I'm like, well, she's going to be there and she's waiting for you because she does a full day.
She's going to have.
Yeah. I'm like, she's there all day and you only go the afternoon. So she's been waiting for you all morning. And she's like, okay, I'm going. And she's like,
so cute.
She wants to buy a present and stuff. And it's just dad's. So it makes a big difference. And then preschool, she goes with her cousin. Amazing. So they're 10 months apart. And they like meet on the corner. So if she's like being a bit naughty, I'm like, well, Molly's waiting on the corner. Molly and Auntie Emma are waiting on the corner for you. So we need to get a move on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But that takes away the mum guilt, doesn't it, so much? Because if you've got a child that doesn't want to go in, you just feel like the worst, like you're forcing your child into the situation. So that's heaven.
The days when she did cry, I'd like leave and I'd ring Josh and I'd be like, oh my God, I just want to go and pick her up. And he's like, no, it's good for her. Like, and she'd be fine as soon as she's at the top of the stairs in nursery. So they would say as soon as she got in the door, she'd like her personality would switch and she'd be dead happy.
That is really true. We see that a lot in school as well. So the children will come in and be really upset, like leaving the parents the separation anxiety. But then actually 2 minutes later, they've hung the coat up and they've put the cat lunch on the trolley and they're absolutely fine. But the mums are then worried or the dads
all
are worried,
day,
like, oh no, that was awful. But so I always, if I can, I've always tried to just message and say they're absolutely fine, by the way.
That makes such a difference. So, because I've always like had to ring because you just need to know to settle you, don't you?
Need the peace of mind,
Yeah, it's like if they stay out anywhere and you need to know that they're settled and they're happy and that's fine. Once you know that.
Yeah, 100%.
You can do whatever.
It's funny actually because I, you know, they say like when you take a leap of faith into something new, that opportunities come your way and things that you didn't know. I had a lovely nursery that contacted me that I'm going to do some training for on like separation anxiety and baby sensory strategies to soothe the baby and help with that kind of handover, because there's more mums that are going back to work earlier because of financial reasons. And as sad as that is, they want to make, it's really lovely because they want to make the journey and that transition easier. Which I think is amazing.
It's lovely they want to do that.
But yeah, so even from like that age, you've got this handing over period and the mum guilt that comes with that. But yeah, I was speaking to a friend and she said just say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. And I think you just have to do that, don't you?
You do.
Take the opportunities.
You have to get completely out your comfort zone.
Yeah. Do you get imposter syndrome and like where you just feel like this? You don't, do you?
Sometimes.
You're just confident. And
No, I'm not. It's up and down. So like, I don't know, it does, I definitely do get it. But it can be like, it can change from one day to another. Because with mine as well, you can do like page go one day. I could be like, oh my God, there's nobody booked on. Yeah. And I could get a massive influx randomly.
Of loads of people.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I'm winning for the month now. And then 2 days later, I'll be back down to like, oh, blah, blah, blah's cancelled. They're not well, blah, blah. I've got no one in class. And like, I find if I have a class that's quiet, it sends me on a bit of a spiral of like, what have I done? Why have I gone into this business?
Yeah.
When it's not, it's just different times of the year. People are ill. People are on holiday, you know.
People have lives still, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's hard not to take it personally. Like I convinced myself that nobody was going to come to I did like a free taster session so people could try out the class before they committed to anything. And I convinced myself that there was going to be no one there. And I was just going to be like, oh, tumbleweed moment. But it was full and people came. Obviously it was free, which helps. But then I was like, the next stage was, I'm going to release my classes and no one's going to book.
That's my fear every month.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
I'm 3 years on nearly.
Oh, really? So
and I still, I'll release it and I'll send people messages and then I'm like, oh, what if they're annoyed that I'm hounding them when they've asked me to send them a message to remind them?
But that's such a British thing, I think, as well. It's like we apologise for everything. I bump into someone and go, oh, sorry.
Same.
Actually, it wasn't even me.
When they've kicked you out the way.
I'm so sorry that you like walked into me.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's really hard. But anyway.
It's good though, I find, because in the studio, Kerry, who owns it, is amazing. Kerry and Jess are both amazing. They're both like massively talk you up. So if I'm having a bit of a down day, it's good to be around other women especially, but there is many, but who are going to big you up and basically bring you a bit back down to earth and be like, look, it's just a bad day. There's many a times me and Kerry have just voice noted each other and be like, I hate my job, blah, 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 blah. Everybody hates me. No one wants to come. And they're like, come on, it's just a bad day. Like,
just a bad day.
Somebody's ill, someone's on holiday. It's really not the end of the world. But
it's hard.
They just remind you.
Personally, yeah.
It is, and because it's you and your business on the line, like it is. This is your livelihood. This is your personality coming out. So it's hard.
It's hard not to take it personally. But yeah, so that's something I think is going to be my biggest challenge, not to like freak out every time I release more classes.
I'm still trying to learn how to do that. So just give me a message and be like, but no, it is. If you are able to have a business so that, you know, you can sustain and, you know, you've got a livelihood around it and you can do things with the kids, you're winning already.
Yeah.
So like, I think I have so much more time with Nyla than I would have if I was in a job.
And that's where
working for someone else,
isn't it? There's no amount of money in the world that could give you that time back. As easy as that sounds.
And I just want to be able for us to like do things like go on experiences and go out for days together and not have to worry.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be really expensive things, but the fact that we get that time that means the world to me. Yeah. And I can like take a day off if I want to go and we can go and do something, or take a week off when I want.
Yeah.
That means that's like, well, that's just amazing.
It's amazing, yeah, it's the dream.
When she's in school, I'm going to be able to do that. So I haven't got much longer left. I was like, we need to go to Disney now. Because if we don't go, it's going to be dead expensive.
Oh, God, I went to Disney when I was little. Must have been about 10 or 12. 10 or 12, just missed out 11. But my mum said, and I do remember, I got there and I had this vision that Magic Kingdom in Florida was just, it's going to be sunshine. I'd seen Mickey and Minnie, and it was absolutely teeming down with rain. It was grey, and I cried. So they paid all this money, and I was such a brat. I was like, it's not like the pictures. And you had to queue for like 4 hours for everything. So it sounds amazing on paper, and it is amazing, but
it's not what it's very overpopulated, isn't it? So,
but I've heard the Paris one is really good because it's not as like
my sister's
big.
My sister's been a few times. You still have to queue for a lot of things. You can pay, I think.
Yeah.
But one of my clients went and she was pregnant, but they took their other girl. And because if you're pregnant, you actually get like the fast track.
Do you?
If you've got an NHS letter.
Belly.
No, you've got to have an NHS letter. It's got to be like but she got one off her doctor. And they got to like, I still think you still have to queue a bit, but it's not as long because obviously they don't want you to be stood up for as long as that.
I always wonder how that works. So like if everyone paid for the fast track, it wouldn't be a fast track.
Yeah, but it's expensive, isn't it? I do want to do Disney because she's really into it now. But
is she?
Then I'm like, would I just rather have a summer holiday and wait till we've got another kid and then do it with them both? Yeah. I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
We also want to buy a house, so...
Too many things. One at a time, one step at a time.
But we rent, so we need to.
Yeah.
I need to get on the property.
Although someone said to me that, again, it's like quite a British thing. Like there's loads of countries in Scandinavia, particularly where it's the norm to rent. But in this country, we have this thing about...
It's drilled into us.
Your property, you've got to get on the property ladder. My mum and dad helped us with our first house, and if they hadn't, there was no way, not a cat in hell's chance that I would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
It worries me what it's going to be like for our kids.
Yeah.
And how bad it's going to be. Because
well, if my husband has his way, we will have a camper van and just be travelling around like nomads.
I'd love that.
That's what he wants to do. And I'm all for it.
I say I'd like that, but I don't know if I would after like a couple of days.
But you see these amazing like converted camper vans and you see them pulled up, like Instagram, like by a lake in like Italy, and it just looks like, wow, that's amazing. No, like 9 to 5.
I know.
But it's probably not the reality all the time, is it?
We wanted to do it because I met Josh in Ibiza and we drove back. Yeah, he drove out there and we drove back through. We got the ferry to Barcelona, drove through Barcelona, through Andorra, through France. And we were like, oh my God, we should do this. Like, we should get a camper van, do it up. And then we looked into the price and we were like, okay, we've just come back from a season in Ibiza. We've got like no money. We had to go back to the jobs we had beforehand. So it's just like, maybe
so were you working there? Were you working?
Yeah, we did 2 seasons, but we didn't meet the first season, but we didn't really know each other till the second.
Right.
So yeah, I just used to work in like a little cafe bar. So I probably worked more hours in Ibiza than I did here. I had 2 jobs.
Really?
Yeah, but I was like, I'm out here to earn money, but also have a good time.
Yeah.
So I'd just like go to work all day, go to my second job after, and then just go out. And I just did that.
Living the dream.
I know, yeah. But I'd do it for like 4 days in a row and then I'd just sleep for the other 3. So I came back with fake tan on. I didn't get a suntan because I was so tired when I wasn't working.
Yeah. See, I thought of doing that now. Could you imagine? Like,
no.
I don't want to stay out after 10 o'clock.
I think I was 23. No. I went for a girls' night at one of our friends' houses And like literally at 10 to 10, we were all like, right, should we all go home now?
Call it a day.
I was like, yeah. I couldn't even have much to drink. I was like, I'm done. I'm absolutely knackered. I've got work tomorrow. I need to go to sleep.
Oh, see, I do a little bit of tutoring, private tutoring. And we had my friends who's got Flourish tutoring. We went out for a little work team night out, and I was like drinking Prosecco, and then I was having a bit of white wine and then a bit of red wine with dinner. I was ruined the next day because I never buy alcohol in. I enjoy wine when I go out for tea. That's as wild as it gets. But I was like, oh, let's go out. It's Christmas. Let's have a good time. So, I regretted it the next day. I was just
mixing as well.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when you go for a meal and you have just a couple, you're worse. Because I find I am. Because if I only have like one or two, I feel like it's not justified as well. But I'll wake up, especially wine I can't handle. Yeah. Prosecco, I'm even worse.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. I just feel like now it's just not worth the next day. It's not worth ruining the weekend. So I've just decided to knock it on the head.
Takes me like 4 days to recover as well. Yeah. And it's different when you're a parent.
I know.
Hangovers as a parent are just absolutely horrendous.
Because life goes on and they still bounce on your head and don't care.
Literally. You're not feeling I know. It's great if they're out at like nannies or aunties for the whole day, but
if you get a pass out where they've gone for a sleepover at nanny and granddad's, that's the dream. Yeah. But then I would choose to like have a meal in and an early night and get quality sleep and make the most of that time. I know. I'm such a nanny. I'm such a granny.
I am as well. I am all for that. I'm like, for a good takeaway in front of the telly, watch something we haven't watched that we can't watch with them around.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I don't want to be like New Year, New Me, because everyone does that. But 2025, I'm going to not do that again because I just think it's just a waste of my weekend. So
I know. I say this
in moderation.
Every time I go out, I think, oh, I'm never drinking again. And then the next event comes up and I'm like, oh, go on then. The best thing is when my mum retired, she doesn't really drink and she'd drive everywhere. So I said, you can have some drinks tonight and I'll be your taxi, because she worries about taxis and that. So I was like, I'll be your taxi. I ended up spending no time at the party and just like drove everybody home. And I was like, you know what? It's quite nice the next day when everyone's hungover.
You feel a bit smug. Like, I'm fresh as a daisy.
Literally, I was up and out. But my mum doesn't really drink anyway. So she had 2 drinks and I was like, well, that was a waste of me not drinking. But she wouldn't even have one and drive.
Yeah.
Because she's so worried.
Yeah, I know. It should be like that. That's a sensible thing
It's hard though, isn't it? But because she doesn't ever drink, she's got no tolerance to it. So it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the drink is the devil.
It is.
Can't handle it.
Yeah, not in 2025.
No. I'll say that. I'll see you in a couple of months on a wild night. No, wait for Christmas.
Yeah.
No, it is really hard though. But you just, as well with work, you won't have, like with your business, I find I just work so much. I don't really have the time to go out either.
You do loads on social media as well. See, that's the thing. That's the territory that I'm just getting into. And yeah, it's like, I love doing it because it's actually quite creative. I love that, like real side thing, but you've got to get over that like cringe mountain of like.
As you can tell, I don't care anymore.
But that's what I need to be more you. Because
but it took me a while.
Time.
I still, even though I'm doing a podcast, I still don't like videoing my own voice. So and there's loads of people who'll do it, and I wish I was like it, who'll just video themselves talking and put it on the story.
Yeah.
But I'm a nitpicker and I will just pick apart everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I do a lot of lip syncing videos, but I do also think it shows your personality a lot. If you're videoing your face and yourself, and people need, because it's your brand, you need to like basically open yourself up and
if people don't like you and know what you're about, then they're not going to invest and buy into whatever it is you're offering. You've just got to be authentic, haven't you, in yourself? And if that cringes people out, then
they're not for you.
That's on them.
They're not for you if it does. I think as well, if I'm going somewhere, I will look at somebody's Instagram and try and find out who that person is before I go somewhere. Yeah.
Like detective.
But like I just I like to know everything. If I'm going somewhere, I need to know if there's parking as well. Do you know that type of thing? I need to know what I'm walking into. So like, I think having your face at the top of your profile, like a video, you know, is important, and people know that you are a human. And
the first time I did it, I wanted to do like a cute video of like, this is me and this is why I've come into like Bambini Me and built my business. And my mum had come round to make sure the kids were quiet because I couldn't have them like barging in. And I'm not joking when I say there must have been about 50 videos.
Oh, I can imagine.
Roll. I was like, no, my head looks square, look like SpongeBob. No, not this one, not that one. My skin looks weird. My voice sounds like a 12-year-old Scouse boy. I was just like, no. And then I just thought, do you know what, this is ridiculous. So I went downstairs and Mum was like, have you done it yet? I was like,
it's been 10 hours, but
it's crazy. And then, so the minute I thought, I'm not going to do that again, what a waste of my time, just be me and authentic. And then, hopefully people will believe that I am who I am, and I'm not. What's the point in putting up a front or using loads of filters and things like that? So.
Well, it is really hard because you are just throwing yourself out there for criticism type of thing. But
also when people come to class, if I act in a different way or look a different way, because 9 times out of 10 I will have a mum bun and probably my glasses on and no makeup, and that's what they're going to get when they walk up. So there's no point like trying to pretend I'm something I'm not, because life is busy, and I'm not going to look like I've got my makeup on, I've got it all together all the time. So I made a special effort today.
Thanks, I love it. I am a lover of anything like simple, so I'll just throw on the most simple thing just to give me a bit of colour in my face for work or whatever. Just because I think if I came to class all dolled up and there's all these new mums and they're going to think, oh, well, she looks really good and I look like shit. But most of the time I will have a slick back bum with greasy hair. I live in leggings and a hoodie. So
comfort is key.
Absolutely. Well, we're coming to work out. I'm not working out, but you are.
Yeah.
But I'm coming to cuddle your kids.
I used to like think I couldn't get my head around the girls that would be in the gym that would have like full face of makeup and I would be sweating with it dripping off me. But actually, like, just you do you. Like, if that makes you more confident, then...
I do think I used to always wear loads of makeup to the gym. Not loads of makeup, but I'd always have to have something on my face. But that was a confidence thing.
Yeah.
But I remember I saw a girl when, oh my God, it must have been when I first started PTing, and she had like contour and everything.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my God, your poor skin.
That's just going to fall off by the end.
Well, it depends, because I am a sweater. So everything on my face is coming off.
Slide off, Yeah.
So, but I do think it's a massive confidence thing, and I do believe that you do you. If they're not harming anyone.
Exactly. Who are we to judge?
Exactly.
I'm not, but I've learned that as I've got older. Like, I used to be quite judgmental, not of other people, but of myself as well, and be like, oh, like, why are they doing that? And then I just, as I've got older, I've learned to just be more accepting, more tolerant, and just think, and definitely as a teacher, where all we are doing is instilling in the children that treat everyone equally. And,
and your
got
kids as well.
Exactly. We've got to be a role model and step up. So if we are criticising other women or other people, what does that say about us?
Got to lead by example.
On a soapbox now.
You have got to lead by example, and monkey see, monkey do. So
100%.
It's really important. So that's why, like, them seeing you doing something and prioritising yourself will be amazing for them.
Yeah.
And like, hopefully you'll be able to get out on the bike rides with them.
Yeah, I know. My daughter already says, I want to take over Bambini Me when you're not doing it anymore. She's already retiring me and I'm only just getting going.
I love that.
But she does what she would like to do it. She's that kind of way. She's really nurturing. Whereas my youngest, little boy, is just a whirlwind. And we're getting into that YouTube phase and it's killing me. It breaks my heart. I used to hate it when I'd hear children in class say, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up.
You know what?
Like, they're the proper job.
They've got the most amount of money.
They're the ones that are minted, yeah. So we are going through that phase at the minute, and I'm very much like in this torn place of, I just want you to play with your toys, play with the Lego, play with the Barbies.
Filming, playing with it, you've made loads of money.
Yeah.
Honest to God, some of the stuff they watch on there.
I just think, why are you watching somebody else playing a game or building something out of Lego or unboxing a gift? Just do it. I know
this is that generation though now, because we didn't have that. So probably if we had it, like, they've got so much on offer now that we never had.
Me and my older sister lives in London. We don't see each other much, but our 90% of our playing was our alter egos. We were Mandy and Michelle. I don't know why Mandy and Michelle, but I don't even know which one I was. But we'd have like our little post offices or our travel agents, and we'd just spend ages being Mandy and Michelle and doing weird stuff. And now I think they've got too much choice, haven't they? Too many toys to play with. There's screens, and even though they serve a purpose sometimes, like, thank God for iPads on a car journey. Sometimes it's just too much, but I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place now, where they've just discovered YouTube and not wanting them to, like, when their friends are talking about things,
missing out,
not know what they're talking about. So it's really difficult to navigate.
It's just as well, like, being aware of what they're on. Yeah. Because now, she likes YouTube, but only like, obviously, like toddler videos. But now she's discovered how to turn it over. Yeah. So like, if she's on her iPad, she can turn it over. And I thought, if we get YouTube kids, it'd be better. It's
There's
still
creepy
the
stuff.
same amount of rubbish on there.
Yeah.
But it's just stuff, I only really like her to watch educational stuff or like a good Disney something.
Yeah.
You know, something that's not going to rot her brain.
Yeah.
And she loves all these videos of like, well, she actually really likes an ASMR marble video.
Yeah.
Of like marbles just running down the screen. But I'm like, what are you gaining from
Marble
that?
run, that's the next present.
I know. I just can't deal with that in my house. But it's hard because someone said to me, what do you want me to get her for Christmas when Christmas was coming? And I said, don't get her any toys, please. She's got too much. Yeah. She doesn't play with what she's got because there's so much in our house. She can't figure out what she wants to play with. So we have to put a lot of them in the spare room and do like a rotation.
Isn't it? That's a good idea. Yeah.
So we do a massive rotation. She's absolutely obsessed with the £5 Princess Castle we've got off Marketplace. I bought a £25 one. She prefers the cheaper one that we got second hand. And I'm just like, so I just said, look, buy her clothes, birthdays and stuff, I just ask for money now.
Yeah.
And then if there's something she really wants, I'll let her get it. But most of the time she's bored of it really quickly.
Yeah.
So I feel like they are just spoilt for choice.
I think experiences are good for presents. Like
absolutely.
A trip to, I don't know, Thorpe Park or Towers or wherever, like when they get older.
Yeah.
Where you just spend family time together. But
yeah. Well, that's like when it was leading up to Christmas, I said to my partner, why don't we, instead of buying a load, why don't we go and do like pay for the lanterns and stuff, the chests too, and go and see Father Christmas.
It's so expensive, isn't it?
So I said, we're not doing that and presents. It's a lot of money.
It's too much.
And because you pay for a lot as well, like a month or two in advance, you don't realise how much you've spent.
Yeah.
But on Christmas Day, she's so overwhelmed usually. Well, she was.
Yeah, I remember when mine were really little, I just used to think, I got so much stuff from charity shops. I love a charity shop, I'm not going to lie. I love a rummage. I love finding things. And I used to be really embarrassed if I bumped into somebody.
Same.
Who saw me coming out. Yeah, so it's so bad. But I used to like wrap things up for the kids when they were tiny and they would be made up because they don't know any difference. So don't go to Smith's or wherever and buy like hundreds of pounds worth of things for birthdays when they actually... They'd rather play with the remote control or a spoon.
Literally. Or a cardboard box that it came in.
Oh, yeah. We went through that phase as well of like a big cardboard box always in the living room because they wanted to sit in it to like eat breakfast, lunch and dinner. And it would look really weird. Like I didn't give them a chair. Like you will sit in a cardboard box, but they loved it. So
my niece got, she's absolutely obsessed with Disney and princess dresses and she's got about 40.
Love it.
Like she's only 4 and she's got loads, but she's like so into it, appreciates every single thing, knows exactly what it's off. So I do it. But she got a box that whatever they'd ordered off Disney came in, it was a massive box and her dad turned it into a car.
Oh,
and her and Nyla had the most fun with the box. Yeah. Fighting over the box. I said, we need to find another cardboard box that big so they can both have one because they were literally crying over this box.
That? Yeah.
And I was like, if I'd have known that, I'd have just gone to like...
We can save ourselves a fortune, couldn't we? Just buy a box.
Because you can do that now. You can buy like them houses, you know, the cardboard houses that they can colour in. That's actually not a bad thing to buy.
That
maybe for her next...
Yeah.
Whenever.
Next birthday idea.
Yeah. Watch, she'll be out with that by then. Won't be bothered. But... it is mad. We just overspend, overstimulate.
Yeah. Do you have like do you always stick to a budget when you have birthdays or like Christmas? No.
I say I do. And then I'm a panic buyer. So like for Josh and Nala are 6 days apart their birthdays.
Oh.
So it's a very expensive month for me. So I will buy stuff beforehand and then I'll start to wrap it a couple of days before. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have enough stuff.
It doesn't look enough. I do that as well.
Buy loads of extra, spend all my money. And then I'm like, no, it's too much. Yeah. But I'm really bad for like a birthday parties. I go very, very over the top and spend a lot of money on them. But unnecessarily because it's all...
But you'll remember all, like the birthday parties. Yeah. I almost don't mind as much parting with the cash for those because it's such a good experience and they remember it. It's the memories, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the stuff, the things that are like... Yeah.
Well, we move on. I know she won't remember them yet, but like we started. So when it was her first birthday, I had an idea to do a festival theme.
Oh, that's so cool.
But I went fully over the top. Everybody who was invited had a lanyard, but only because my sister got
attention to detail.
Only because I could make it myself for free. My sister got printing for free. All I had to pay for was the laminating pouches and the ribbon. And otherwise, because I looked up prices of getting it done properly. Yeah. And I thought, now I'm doing this myself. That's the only reason I do it. And then I was like, right, well, it's Nyla Fest, so it's got to be every year now. And I was like, but imagine that when she turns 18 and she could be like, we've done this every year and there'll be a picture every year. Because it's purple themed. We love purple. So I was like, when she's 18, we'll have like all the lanyards of growing up. So I've just got to keep that up. And then when she's 18, we can all get drunk.
No pressure, yeah. And you can show her all of the ones, all of the pictures from like years gone by. That'd be so cute.
Yeah, it always seems to rain though, because I was like, we'll have an outdoor festival. It'd be great. And then it rains every year.
Well, it wouldn't be a festival if it didn't.
Well, exactly. Got to have your wellies on, haven't you?
Keeping the theme, keeping it real.
Yeah, but I do go over the top. But I think this year though, actually, last year, should I say, we spent more money on like entertainment because the first 2 years I thought there's no point. Yeah. She's not going to be able to appreciate it.
Just goes over the head.
So for her third birthday, we got Anna and Elsa and we spent more money on that than we would have on all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And it went down a hit. But she's already decided what she wants for her 4th and 5th birthday.
Has she? Oh,
what princesses she wants.
Strong mind, strong-willed.
Yeah. I was like, don't change your mind then, because I'm going to stop buying the stuff now. So...
She's committed. She can't go back.
I know. But she did want Moana, but we couldn't get a Moana. We couldn't find a Moana. So if anyone knows a Moana.
Anyone knows a Moana,
send them over.
Yeah.
So
it's funny though, isn't it? Because they just know their own minds and you don't steer them in a certain way. Like my little boy couldn't be any more boysy and my little girl couldn't be any more girly.
Really?
And we've not steered them in a way. You would think that having all the girl toys in the house first, that he would like be more like familiar with that.
Yeah.
But he just smashes everything up. He's just like rough and tumble, wants to charge at things. My daughter's always like, why does he make those noises when he's playing? Because
he's a boy.
He's a boy and that's what he does. So they couldn't be any different. But I do think, because there's a lot of people that like don't buy like blue for boys and pink for girls. And I don't even think we did that. I liked a lot of cutesy things and prints and stuff like that. But we definitely didn't steer them one way or the other. They've just found their path and they are both like the stereotypical girl and boy without any like
But even if you try and steer them, I do think they're always going to find their own.
They will.
Especially when they go to school, they're going to find their own 100%. Anyway.
Yeah.
So... it's one of them, isn't it? Like, Nyla's dad, Josh, he is a race car mechanic. So I was like, oh, we're going to have a girl that loves cars and she loves anything with wheels.
Yeah.
But that was never pushed on her by Josh. She's just always been obsessed with anything with wheels since she was born. It's just like in her genes.
Yeah.
So I was like...
that must make him so proud.
Yeah, he loves it.
It
is exciting. Yeah. He was like, so when can I get her in a go-kart? Never.
So is that like proper racing, like
British touring cars?
Wow, that's so cool.
It is quite
very glamorous.
No, because he's a mechanic. So no, because he's not the driver. He's he's the one who's fixing the car. So,
but it wouldn't work without him.
No, it wouldn't. The car wouldn't be built without him. So. Yeah.
Oh, he must be really proud of you for like setting up your own. Business and everything.
But I wouldn't be able to do it without him, thankfully. Yeah. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
He's
given me supportive partners.
Thank God we've got some, and there's times when it's really tough because he works away a lot. So that's why I don't think I would have been able to go and work for someone.
Yeah.
Because as much support as we have with people helping, looking after her, it's still a lot. Yeah. You need a lot of support, don't you?
You do, yeah, 100%.
So thank God for our good families.
Thank goodness, yeah, I know.
So what are you most excited about then for the business?
I think just having my life back, honestly. Like I've lost so many hours to just the planning, the marking, the assessments that I won't know myself in the evenings. I'll be like, what am I going to do with all this time?
What actually be
with my family? Actually,
you can watch telly live, not on catch up.
Yeah, I can watch YouTube unboxing with my kids.
Is there an adult version?
So no, I'm really excited about just having more flexibility, more freedom. I want to go for like a walk in the morning, get steps in, start the day off right, because normally my day is, come on, mummy's late, let's get out of the house, get in the car, into school, and then it's the same coming home.
Were they at your school?
Yeah. Which was great with my daughter because she's an angel, not so great with the youngest when I have to get, he's been in trouble doing things. I didn't think that through properly actually, but anyway, they won't have to put up with mummy being a teacher anymore.
Will she do her own school run when she's in secondary school then, or will you take her still?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's a big leap, isn't it?
It freaks me out, like getting the bus and everything. I just think kids are so mean now sometimes, and I just don't know. And I don't want to... I'm a bit of a technophobe and I don't want her to have a mobile phone, which I know is a massive discussion in itself, isn't it? Like Australia have just banned social media for under 16s, and there's
and
there's loads of schools in this country that are banning mobile phones completely.
Yeah, Nyla's preschool, like their junior school, it's bars. You're not
preschool.
No, at the preschool you're not allowed to phone. No, because her preschool's attached to the junior school. You're not allowed it until you're in senior, which I agree with. You don't 100%. Need a phone before you're 11. You're not going to be going anywhere.
To and from school. I know it was a different world, and like, I always say that I managed to get home and I didn't need a phone to call my mum, but actually I think we're in a different world, and
we are.
I would get a phone that she can call and she can message.
Yeah.
But anything with the internet on is a hard no from me, because I just think they see too much too young.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like I'm preaching.
No, it is so. You want to keep them a little bit as children.
Protected, yeah. They grow up too fast. They see too much too soon, in my opinion. But yeah, I know that's not for everyone. A lot of kids,
it's hard, isn't it?
I've got phones now, but yeah, it's just not the route that I'm going down. But yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever works for you and your family, though. If someone else might not agree, that's fine. That's what they do, but that's them. So
yeah, 2025, this is going to be my year to get my life back. It is going to
be your year.
Try and get fitter. It's not about, I'll never be a skinny mini. That's not me. And I don't want to be a skinny mini, but I need to feel healthy, feel strong, have like time for myself, mental health, like be with my kids and be like a good mum and wife again. Like I don't think I went to burnout and breaking point, but I definitely had a moment before I left teaching where my husband was like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. We need you back, because I was being really cranky. I was having like outbursts. So I would be just really angry really quickly, and it just was not nice. It wasn't pretty.
It's not you, yeah.
And he just said, this is mental. You need to just like stop. And that was when I kind of said, but what else can I do? And you almost feel a little bit trapped. And that's when we had this conversation. Stuck. Yeah, you think, I've got a mortgage to pay, I've got this, can't just leave. And that's when we had this conversation, and we were talking about supportive partners. He was very much like, well, what do you love doing? What's your passion? What would you do if you were teaching? And I said, well, I've always had this idea, going back to the baby class, I've always wanted to do my own because of this, this and this. He's like, do it, you can make it happen. And he was such a good cheerleader.
That's
like, gorgeous. I will never take that for granted.
Thank God, like he was, and you've been able to do it.
Yeah, because I have got friends who've wanted to leave things, and their partners have been like, well, you can't, because we need to pay the mortgage. And he was actually advocating and pushing for me to do that, because he just wanted me to be happy again.
Yeah, so, and it is a scary thing to do that big leap. So I do wish you all the best of luck, and I do think you'll do amazing in it.
Thank
I'm
you.
always here to help promote.
Thank you.
You know, if you want to pop into class and talk to mums about stuff,
it's
anything that's helping a mum out, we love. Yeah, we absolutely love over it.
Supporting mums.
So in a year's time, we'll have you back on.
Yeah,
and you can tell us how amazing your business is going, how much you've grown.
By then.
Yeah. And it'll be amazing. I promise you are.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity as well to talk about it.
Thanks for coming on, being so open. Appreciate it.
It's lovely to chat to you.
We'll see you hopefully in a year.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care.